Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Hopefully this is going to be a big treat. I don't get to review a lot of beers from Italy, and that's where this one comes from. As you can see, the very unique bottle. This is packaged in. Rico sent me this, so Rico, thanks a bunch. It still has a price tag on this, and for this size bottle, it looks like he paid $10.75 for this bottle. So I'm hoping it's going to be very tasty. Like a miniature 750 milliliter. It's got the concave hole in the bottle like the big bottles do. And this is an 8.2 percenter. It's called Verdi Imperial Stout. Not had this before. Like I said, in Italy, this is probably not a very pricey beer, I would think. Just my 2 cents. But once it's packaged and transported and shipped and distributed in Virginia or wherever Rico picked it up, I'm not seeing it in Virginia, and distributed, that adds to the cost of the beer. Not a monster-sized beer at 8.2%, but coming from Italy, across the pond, and distribution, that adds cost to the beer. So, Rico, thanks a bunch, brother, for sending this one to me. Kind of anxious to taste this since I've not had anything from these guys. Don't buy a lot of beers from Italy because they are so pricey. So I do appreciate him spending his hard-earned money on this. A lot of money, $10.75 on this fairly small bottle. It's not a huge bottle. Let me see if it says 11.2 fluid ounces. So not even a 12-ounce bottle, and it's almost $11. So that is a pricey beer as far as I'm concerned, but it is a Russian Imperial Stout. And like I said, it's basically like a miniature 750 milliliter. It's got a great big cap on it, and it's got this big ring underneath the cap like a 750 does, and it has a concave bottom on it. So very dark bottle. It's very hard to see anything in the bottle because it is so dark. And it says here on the back, stout brewed with hot chili. So this this ought to be a great beer for me since I love chili peppers and stuff that's got a slight heat to it sometimes. I grow peppers here in my garden, jalapeno and hot bananas and stuff like that. So I do like that influence sometimes. I don't want to drink it every day, but I do enjoy this style of beer. So Rico, thank you. Thank you. Let's go over and see what we got. The commercial description on this one. I don't have the IBUs listed on either site. It says here, and it is a long commercial description here. Top fermented beer, which is subjected to a secondary fermentation in bottle. It's deep dark ebony in color with a cappuccino head. The nose has an aroma of chocolate, licorice, coffee grounds, and tobacco with alcohol nuances. It's full-bodied, long-lasting, smooth, and dry mouth is followed by a surprisingly hot finish that breaks its initial fullness and makes you crave more. It is suitable for aging. This is directly from the description here. Dedicating one of our beers to Giuseppe Verdi was a must since our microbrewery is located in Ronco Verdi, the composer's birthplace. When I returned from my first visit to the New York City, and I don't know who's saying this, I decided to create a beer that would be superior in elegance, balance, and drinkability to all those stout varieties that I had overseas. Although the initial recipe has changed, the very first batch matched my vision. Its uniqueness lays in the use of chili peppers, which combines very well with the beer's chocolate aroma. The hot finish also lightens its full-bodied mouth by awakening the palate. Verdi Imperial Stout is the first Italian craft beer to ever been crowned with a gold medal in its category at an international beer contest. In 2008, it ranked first at the European Beer Star in Imperial Stout category. Very nice. Food pranks for this style of beer: general, chocolate, dessert, digestive. That's all the categories we got there. Glass rated pint, backer, 9 tumbler, snifter. Got my favorite glass again today. Can be set up for long periods under the proper conditions. 8.2%, it is going to keep for a while. 5, maybe even 10 years on an 8.2%. And being a Russian Imperial Stout, shouldn't be anything that's going to fade over time. So, let's get the cap off of this thing. And this, like I said, it's got the great big cap like a 750 does. So a lot of times this opener has difficulty. But it come right off the first time on this very nice cap that will go on the fridge downstairs. Those caps are a little bit bigger than the standard 12-ounce bottle caps. But this is not a very big beer for almost $11. Let's get down the center. We want to generate a little bit of a head on this one. And we did. Slight alcohol booziness from this distance. Which is usually not good for an 8.2. If it was 12, I could see that. 2 fingers of head, over to the light, very dark. No light at all, guys. Pitch black. Nice khaki colored head on that. Some bigger bubbles in the center from that aggressive pour, but very creamy around the outside. Nice tight bubbles around the sides of the glass. Good looking beer. From Italy. Rich roasted malt, licorice. Maybe some tobacco or some coffee in there. Not getting a lot of the chilies in the nose. And that happens quite a bit, especially when it's right out of the fridge like this one is. You usually get those now, a little bit. Now I'm getting just a hint of the chilies now. Just a slight hint. Got a feeling it's going to be more in the taste than in the nose. Well, it's that time. Let's get it on. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Thank you, my brother. Wonderful aroma on this beer. Oh yeah, that's delicious. Not a lot of heat from the initial taste, but as I've drank it, just a slight hint back here of the chilies. Not super hot, not burning or anything like that. Just a slight hint there's some chilies in this beer. Wow, that is good. That is very good. And I will give you a quick note, guys. That's why you see most of my reviews are American beers that's brewed somewhere in the States. Because the beers that are imported, just like this one, tend to be fairly on the pricey side. I mean, you can buy a 4-pack and a 6-pack of some American-made beers, even stouts, that cost less or about the same price as this one 11.2 fluid ounce of beer costs. So, judging from that, that's why when I purchase beers, I'll purchase something that I'm going to get more bang for my buck. But being a reviewer, I really enjoy tasting beers like this, especially from Italy or wherever they're from. Canada, South America, or wherever, like I said, Amsterdam or Belgium or wherever the beers are brewed. But they tend to be a lot more pricier than the American beers. Not always. Not always. There's a lot of American beers that are overpriced. But I don't, and they have different sections. When I go to the beer store, they'll have the American beers, and a lot of times they're grouped by states and where they come from, and then they have another rack of the imported beers. And as soon as you walk down that rack and start looking at the pricing, you're going, and hardly any of them are priced in more than one. I mean, everything is singles all on the shelf there, and they are fairly pricey beers. But you got to remember the transportation and the shipping and distribution adds to all this cost. Everybody's getting their little piece of the frickin' pie. Whether it's the brewer, or whether it's the shipper, or whether it's the distributor, or whether it's the store, all those guys are getting their hands and making their little bit of profit. And that's why these beers tend to be a little more, or a lot more pricier. You won't pay as much for one bottle of this as you are for like a 4-pack of 1050 or Old Rasputin or something like that. A lot of times, not always, but a lot of times. So, well, let's right out of the fridge. Let me take it back and let her have a sip 2 or 3, since it was such a small bottle, and sip on this for just a little bit and see where we end up with this one. Tastes pretty good right now. Let's see if the peppers come out just a little bit more as it warms up to room temperature. I'll be right back. Right, guys, got a little bit left here. I've been sipping on it probably about 45 minutes or so now. Very nice. The chilies are there. They're very subdued on the back, but you can tell now it's warmed up to room temperature. You don't get it on the front or the middle. Once you taste it and you drink it, you get that slight hint of the chilies right there in the back of the throat. Not burning or anything overpowering. Just that ever so slight hint that there are some chilies in this beer. Nice licorice, chocolatey, coffee, hints of a little bit of dark fruit. Very nice beer. Very nice beer. I've been pleasantly surprised on this beer. And I was hoping I would be when I seen the price tag on this that Rico paid for it. I was hoping it was going to be a really good beer. I was hoping I wasn't going to have a D, C, or worse beer here. So, very nice beer. Very well done. Very nice aroma, rich roasted malt. Hints of bittersweet chocolate, licorice, dark fruit, coffee, and that chilies right in the very back when you drink this. You get the slight twang of the chilies in the beer. Very pleasant. Final chug. Oh yeah, wonderful taste. Pleasantly surprised. I still think the price tag is a little heavy, but you got to realize where it's coming from Italy, the shipping, the distribution, and the beer store. Everybody's got their little grubby little fingers on the pie on this. If you were buying this in Italy, I would think it would probably be $3, $4, maybe even $5 cheaper than what we're paying for it over here. Once everybody gets their little piece of the pie. Just guessing. I've never been to Italy. Would love to go there. But I'm just guessing that. I mean, if you were to buy this over there and spend American dollars, I would think this beer would probably be, it could be even half price of what it costs here. So, just guessing. I'm not sure. And if I have any subscribers over in Italy and they can get this beer, let me know what it costs over there in Italy. So, I would be very... I'd be very happy to find out what this beer costs over there in American dollars. So, it's a great beer to me, guys. Other than having a date on it, which it does not have that I can see. And it looks like a green bottle looking at the light. But it is a very dark green bottle. And I see no dating on it anywhere, guys. But it is an Imperial Stout at 8.2%. So it's not that critical, but... I was under the impression that everybody over there in Europe had to put a date on their beer somehow. But a lot of times they get away with that when they tell them, oh, we're shipping this to the United States, and they don't require that. So, would like to know, what is it, 2016 edition, 2015, 2014, 2013? When was this beer put in the bottle? Just inquiring minds. So, guys, I do think it's an A beer. I think it's a very tasty beer. I think it's a B beer. I mean a 9 beer. I would say if I was putting a numeric rating on this, it wouldn't be the 10, but I think it would be the 9. I think it's better than the 8, but I would like to see a date on it. If I had a vintage on this bottle, I may even give it a 10. I think this beer is in the middle of the A's, 95, 96, somewhere in that area. That's where I would put it. Just my 2 cents. Very tasty. Thank you, Rico. I do appreciate it, sir, for spending your hard-earned money for an expensive beer like this from Italy. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Over to Beer Advocate, 89 in a very good range. I think it's a tad better than that. I really do. And over to Rate Beer, they say overall 97 and 68 in the style. I'm probably in the middle there. 89 from these guys and 97. 95, maybe 96. I'm just a tad under, and I'm a lot of times more so than not. I'm more in line with Rate Beer's ratings. Not always, and I always tell you that, guys. Whether I disagree with these guys, or disagree with these guys, or both guys, or agree with both of them, I usually try to tell you that. I'm pretty close to what Rate Beer's got. 95, 96. I don't think I'd quite go to the 97 scale, but I do think it's better than the 89. I really do. But it's a pricey beer, and a lot of that influences a lot of the guys' ratings. They'll give it a lower rating because it's such a high-priced beer to get over here. So, I didn't pay for this. Rico did. If I had bought this beer and paid almost $11 for it, I might give it just a tad lower score. I'm just telling you that, guys. This was sent to me as a gift from Rico, and from what I'm seeing on the bottle, other than having a vintage, I think it's a good beer. I think it's an A beer. Not an 8, not a 10, but about a 9. If I had a vintage on it, I may even consider giving it a 10, like I said. All right, if you've had this one, this is, and I can't read this Italian, Birrificio Del Ducato Verdi Imperial Stout. On the front of this bottle it says Verdi Imperial Stout. But it's from Italy, across the pond, a long way from where I'm sitting right now. Would love to go to Italy one of these days. Hope I live to do that. I really do. Alright, guys, if you've had this one from Verdi, Birrificio or CO Del Ducato. Let me know what you think, guys. I enjoyed it. It was very nice. Thanks again, my brother Rico, for sending me this beer. Come back tomorrow. Let's go see what we can dig out of the fridge. See you then.